In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Apple's video creation app, Clips. Hey, it's Mike from michaelkinney.com, the place to go to learn how to use video to engage, persuade, and educate your audience and customers. And in this video, we're going to take an in-depth, step-by-step look at how to create compelling video for social media using Apple's video creation tool, Clips. Now with Clips, you can record video, take photos, add on-screen text, animated titles. But enough of me talking about it. Let's hop into Clips and I'll take you through it. So here we are in Clips. This is the library window, I'll call it, where you see projects that you've been working on. So for example, the square with the yellow highlight around it or yellow outline around it is a project I was working on before. So I can open that project up and work on it or continue to work on it by just having it selected, and we can tell it's selected by the yellow outline. And then we hit open, and we're ready to record new content into this project or add photos or videos or what have you. But we're going to start with a new project. So to close this, we're going to hit the downward arrow or downward chevron to close that. And back to our library screen here. And we're going to start with a new project. So to create a new video, we hit the plus sign where it says new video. And that brings us into the default recording interface here in Clips. So let's just take a quick look at this interface just to get you familiar with it. So as we saw, that downward arrow to the left will bring you back to your library, as we can see there. The preview is still open. So we'll just close that and bring us back here. Okay, so we've got a bunch of icons on the top of the interface. The first icon to the right of the downward chevron is live titles. It's that speech bubble looking icon. To the right of that is filters, creative filters. To the right of that we have the star and the circle icon, which is overlays. And then to the right of that, the T inside of the square is posters. And then on the far right of the interface at the top there is the little note icon, and that's for adding music. So below those icons we have the main recording window or preview window where you're going to see what you're recording when you're recording a video or a photo. Now below this window we have three buttons or text buttons. I call these source selectors. Right now video is highlighted, you can tell by the yellow color there. And so I'm ready to record a video. To the left of video, we have photo. Let's just tap that source selector. And we have the familiar shutter button to take a photo. To the right of video is library. And this is really cool because you can bring content in, photos or videos, from the library on your device. Let's go back to video. So back to video here. Now below these source selectors we have three buttons. We have the microphone button. As you can tell, there's a little level meter inside that icon that's moving up and down. That tells you that the microphone is actually capturing sound. And you can leave that on or you can mute that button by just tapping it. And that'll mute the microphone, but we'll just keep it on for now. Beside that, we have the big red record button. Hard to miss that one. And to the right of that, we have the camera selector for the front-facing camera or the rear-facing camera. So I'll just toggle that. And you see a picture of my camera. Let's come back to me. And so that is the main interface. So let's record a video. Let's record some content. So we've got it set to video in the source selector there because video is highlighted with yellow. So all we do to record a video is frame your shot. And if you want audio, make sure your microphone is on, and it's on, we can tell by the level meter there. And just hold and record. And so you can see as I'm holding and recording, you can see frames going by in the bottom there. And you can also tell you're recording. Above the preview window, we have time code, a little timer going by with a flashing red dot that tells you you're recording and how much footage you are recording. So let's let go of that. Now, so we've made a recording, and we know that because down in the timeline area of the interface, there is a frame. and there's a little play button, and that is our clip down there that we just recorded. So let's play that by hitting the play button. And so you can see as I'm holding,
and there it
you can
is.
see frames going by in the bottom.
There's me
there.
talking.
And you can also
Talking about
recording.
recording.
The
Okay,
window we
let's hit the
have
pause button
time.
here. So now we see this interface. And this is because I selected the clip, and you can tell the clip is highlighted with the yellow outline. And it brings up an editing interface for the clip. So you can do some things with this clip once you've recorded it. You can first mute the audio of this clip, and you do that by toggling the speaker icon here, that's below. Toggle that on and off to turn the audio on and off on your video clip. Beside that, we have the scissor icon, and this, when you tap it, brings up a trim interface. This is where you can trim your clip. So, for example, you can tap and drag this white scrubber bar to find a point in your clip you want to start trimming, and then tap and hold this left arrow, or chevron, to set your in point for your trim, and tap and hold the right chevron or arrow to select the out point of your trim. Now when you're happy with the in and out points for this trim for your clip, you just hit apply. And now that clip has been trimmed. Now if you don't like this clip at all, you want to get rid of it, you hit that trash icon to delete the clip. But we'll leave this in for now. Now to get back to the recording interface, we hit the downward arrow or chevron below the preview window here. And that brings us back to the recording interface. So that's recording a video clip and editing a video clip. Now, there's one thing about this editing interface I wish was different. Let's just go back for a second and select this clip again. And now let's go back into the trim interface by hitting the scissor button here. What's missing for me in this interface is the ability to find a point in my clip and split the clip. That would be really helpful for editing. So let's cancel out of that and let's go back to the recording interface by hitting the downward arrow or chevron here below the preview window. Okay, brings back to me. So that's recording a video. Let's look at recording a photo into clips. So let's go to our source selectors, and beside video, let's tap photo, and that brings up our shutter button. So let's take a photo of me. So there, we have a photo. Not the best photo in the world, I know. I look a little goofy there. But I can retake this photo if I don't like it. So I'm going to say, let's retake that. So it brings us back to the recording interface, and we can record a different photo. That's a little better. So we have this photo. Now, how do we get it into our project? Well, you have to record the photo into the clip's timeline. And you do that by hitting the record button and holding it, like we did before with video. So the key here is to tap and hold the record button for the length of time you want the photo to appear in your clip's timeline. Best to record more than you think you need, because you can always go back and trim it later. So let's do that. Let's hold, and we're recording the photo, and we can tell we're recording again by the timer or time code rolling above the window with the red blinking dot there. And we can also see the frames going by in the bottom of the interface. So I'll let go of that. So now we have this photo, and we can check it. We'll just tap it to select it. Brings up our editing interface, but we're not going to edit it. We're just going to play. So I'm going to hit the play button here. And so you can see we have this still photo sitting here for 15 seconds. And we can edit this photo. Let's select that clip by tapping it. We get the yellow outline around it. And now let's trim it. So let's tap the scissor icon, and we're gonna, nothing's moving. I'm just going to trim the time a little bit. And you can see the duration of your clip. If you notice above the preview window, you can see how long your clip is. So if you say, well, I only want this for 3 seconds, I can drag the in and out points so that the duration of this clip, this photo, is roughly, exactly 3 seconds, and we can just hit apply. And so now that photo has been trimmed to 3 seconds. Let's go back to the recording interface by hitting the downward arrow or chevron here below the preview window. Now, we're still in photo mode, so you can't see me moving here. So I'm going to hit video to bring us back to me here in the video recording interface. So that's adding and editing photos into clips. So now let's look at the library. And this is really useful. And I think for me, this really makes clips a compelling choice for creating video and for video storytelling. Because you can grab content from your library, stuff you've already recorded, photos and videos, and edit them in or bring them into your clips project. Why is that a big deal? Because you don't have to capture all of your content from within the clips application. You can capture content, photos or video outside of the clips application and bring those assets in or bring those media clips in later. So let me show you how this works from the library. So let's hit library. And so it brings up your library. So let's take a video first. So here's a video of me talking. Now you'll notice you get this little timeline overlaid on top of your clip. And this is a timeline of the actual media. So this is a timeline of that video from my library. So I can tap and drag my finger along this timeline to select the endpoint for this video. So let's say I'm going to pick it up from here. Now, great, but there's a problem. My head is cut off. I know when I recorded this, I recorded it in a vertical format, and I know I framed myself properly, and you could see my head, but it's not showing here in the clips interface. Not to worry, because you can adjust the position of this clip by just tapping and dragging the clip. And I'm dragging down, just tapping and dragging down to frame this clip the way I want to. So there, that's better. I can record that. Now you can also do a little pinch and zoom if you want to. I don't think we need to do that in this shot, but you can do that. And you can do that with photos and videos. So let's say I want to record from this point in this clip. I just tap and hold the record button. And you can see I'm recording this video into my clips project. And I can record it for a duration that I want by just watching the time code counter and the red dot. We know we're recording up there. And we can see the frames going by in the bottom of the interface. So I'm just going to stop this right here.
Make that work.
And so now we have a clip. We have this video clip in our clips project. Now say, for example, I want a different part of the clip after it. Well, we can drag this timeline down to another part. We can frame up our shot the way we want. And then we can hit and hold the record button again and record this section of the clip in.
The microphone is working. It seems to be working pretty well. It's a pretty good quality microphone.
So just to verify that this stuff has been recorded, I'm going to tap in the timeline here, that video. It brings up our familiar editing interface for the clip, and I'm going to hit play, and you can see that the clip has been recorded. And also the audio from the clip has been recorded. And we'll just go to the next clip and show you that it has been recorded as well as the audio. Okay, so that is recording a video clip from your library. So now let's bring in a photo. So let's go back to our library here. And let me bring in this photograph, this artistic photo of my morning coffee here. So to bring in a photo from your library, you just select it like that. And now we can record this photo into our clips project by, again, tapping and holding the record button. Now, much like the video, we can adjust the framing of this photo by clicking and dragging. Now we're all the way out on this photo. So I'm just going to pinch and zoom in, and then we can just touch and drag to reframe. So say we want to do something like that. There. Okay, so let's record this into our clips project. Again, we just tap and hold the red record button, and you can see time code is rolling, the red dot is blinking, and we can see the frames going by below in the timeline. And we can also see the microphone bouncing up and down, which means we're also recording the sound of my voice as I'm recording this photo from my library into clips. So let's play this back. Let's play back this photo. So we're going to go to our timeline below here at the bottom of the interface, tap and select our photo clip, and let's hit play. And you can see that our photo has been recorded. Also, my voice has been recorded, you can hear as well. And that's the great thing about clips. It's very interesting that you can record your voice or record a voiceover with pretty much everything that you bring into clips. So that is how we get content into clips. And so here we are. We have our timeline. But let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to the eye candy. And we're going to do that first by going up to the top here in the interface, and we're going to hit the filters icon up here at the top. And now, look at this. We have a bunch of filters, and this is a live preview of these artistic filters you can apply to your content. So we've got Chrome, there's me normal or none at the bottom right. We have the ink, which I think is fantastic, and it's really cool. And the comic book, which is a lot of fun. And then we have some effects that are more sort of photographic, fade, transfer, noir, and instant, kind of giving you that sort of Polaroid look. So these are the filters that come with clips at the moment. I'm sure they'll have more filters as things move on. So how do we add one of these filters to our content? Well, pretty simple. Let's add the comic book filter. I'll select it. And now we have my live video preview of recording with the comic filter. So let's record this. Okay, so we'll hit the hold, or rather we'll press and hold the record button. And so now we're recording this clip with the comic filter over top of it. And it's pretty remarkable and a lot of fun. You can get some really stylized looks. And just think of the potential for storytelling for these kinds of filters and effects. Really gets your imagination going. So I'll stop that right now. And so I'm still live here in the filter. So if you want to turn the filter off, all you need to do is go back up to the filter button, tap it, go down to the bottom of the filters and select none. And then I'm filter free. So let's have a look at what we recorded with that filter. So we'll go down to the timeline here, tap, and I'll hit the play button. And so now we're recording this clip. And there is your recorded clip with the filter. Comic filter over with the audio as well. And it's pretty remarkable and a lot of fun. You can get some really stylized looks. Think of the creative storytelling or creative messaging even you could do with these filters. Really gets your imagination going. All right, let me just stop that. And I'll come back to me by hitting the downward chevron below the window here. Back to me live, so to speak, here on the interface. Now let's say, we didn't like that filter. Yeah, we weren't feeling that one. We want to change it. No problem. We just select the clip in the timeline, go back up to the filter icon that's highlighted yellow on the top of the interface. And now let's say, I want to use the ink filter, this black and white filter. We tap to select that, and now our clip has that filter applied to it. And if we play, we'll see that in fact that filter has been applied to our clip. So a lot of great flexibility with these filters. You're not locked in. You can change your mind. All right, let's pause that with my eyes closed, and we'll come back to me by hitting the downward arrow there. So that's applying filters, and there's a number of filters you can do that with, and I'm sure more filters will be coming online very soon. So Let's look at some other eye candy. To the right of filters, the star with the circle icon are overlays. So let's have a look at overlays. I'll just tap that. All right, so here we have what are called stickers. They're known as stickers. We have text, we have shapes, we have some location-based stickers, we have the date. So these are things that we can add to our clips, and we have some text as well. So to add one of these stickers, or overlays rather, to our clip, we just tap it. So for example, let's add meanwhile. Say I want to give a name, super as they call it, or a lower third kind of thing, just to identify me in the shot. So I'll just tap meanwhile, and it brings it on to our interface. And now we can just tap and drag that to bring it down. Let's say we want it around here, and say we want it a little bigger. We can just do our old pinch and zoom up like that. Okay, so say we like the placement and the size of that, but we don't want it to say meanwhile. We want to change the text. Not a big deal. We just tap it, and it brings up our familiar keyboard. So we can then enter the text that we want, like so. And then hit apply at the top of the interface to apply that change. There. And so you'll notice as well, we have this little X on this overlay, and that's to delete the overlay. If you don't like it at all, you can just tap that X to delete it. But we're going to keep it. And in order to keep it, I'm just going to tap the screen to get rid of that X, and it takes it. So let's record with this overlay text. So you saw there at the beginning of the recording how there was a little animation at the beginning of that overlay text. So it added a little bit of flair, which is very cool, some production value. So we're going to stop this now. Okay, so let's play this back to see how our overlay text worked. So I'm going to tap the clip that I just recorded in the timeline below here, and brings up our editing interface. I'm going to hit the play button to the left of the timeline, and there you saw a little transition in with that overlay text. At the beginning of that overlay text, so it added a little bit of flair. Okay, very cool, some production value. So let's go back. I just stopped it there, and we're going to go back again to our main interface by hitting the downward arrow. Brings it back to me. So let's see what other things are in this collection of overlays. What I'll do is I will delete this overlay. So I'll just tap it on screen. I get the X. I'm going to hit the X, and that overlay is deleted. So let's go back and see what other things are in this overlay collection. We'll tap the star within the circle icon, the overlay icon, and we come up with some other things. Now we've got these location, date, but there's some other things in here too. If we swipe to the left, we get a collection of emojis. So these emojis are emojis that you've used actually frequently or recently on your device. So it remembers those emojis and places them in this menu for you to use again. But say you have an emoji you want to use that it's not in this collection. Let's just add one first. We'll add this sunglasses one here. So we add that to our screen, and here it is. Again, we can tap and drag to move it around, pinch to expand it, pinch to rotate, all that kind of stuff. Now, let's say, well, I don't want to use this one. I want to use something else. No problem. Just tap the emoji once you've placed it, and it brings up your keyboard. So then you go down and you hit your emoji collection. So now you have access to all the emojis on your device. So you can swap it out. So I'm going to go way back over here, and let's say I'm going to swap it out with something else here. Let me swap it out with this one. And there it is. It's changed. Now to apply this change, we just hit apply. And there it is. We've swapped out an emoji from our keyboard with one that was built into the library. And again, we can just pinch and drag and move this one around and do this. Now we can actually record this. Let's record this. And again, we saw there's a little bit of an animation at the top of that as the emoji comes on. So let's stop the recording. And I'm recording again by tapping and holding the record button. Okay, let's play back this clip. Let's go down to the timeline, select that clip, and hit play.
And again, we saw there's a little bit of an animation.
And there it is. The emoji pops on and it's recorded onto our clip. And that's how you add an emoji or an overlay of any kind to your clip or your timeline in your clips project. So let's get rid of this because it's kind of blocking my face. So we just tap it. Actually, we'll move it over. Tap it so we can see the X. You know, you noticed it was, when I tapped it, we couldn't see the X. So sometimes you have to tap and drag it over and then tap it in order to see the X. And then we can delete it by hitting the X. So that's overlays. Let me just go back quickly and see what else in that overlay menu. That's pretty much it. So you can add and you can customize these different overlays onto your clip, be it a video or a photo. Okay, let's come out of here by toggling. You toggle on and off these the filters, the overlays, these extra features by just toggling, hitting the button again. So for example, I'm in the overlay menu. If I want to get out of the overlay menu, just tap it again. Okay, so that's overlays. Lots of fun with that stuff. To the right of overlays, we have this T within a square icon. And this is, or rather these are, posters. Let me show you what I mean. So we'll just tap that. And so what we get is a selection of video clips that are basically like title clips where you have text and a background. So you could use these as the beginning or end, intro or extra of your clips project or clips movie. You can insert them in the middle of your clips project. So you have this collection of posters. They call them posters, but they're really graphics, motion graphics. But for our purposes, I'm just going to select one. And let's select Tonight. Now, it's downloading this content because the content isn't bundled with the Clips application. You have to download it into your device. So here it's downloaded and ready to go. Now, of course, we don't want to say Tonight. Maybe that's not the title of our project. We want to change this text. So we just tap it and it brings up our keyboard in order to edit this text on this poster. So I'm going to say, I don't know, clips with an exclamation mark. And then I'm going to hit apply to apply those changes. How do we get this into our project? Because it's not in our project or it's not recorded into our timeline yet. We have to record it in. So much like the photos and the video and the content from our library, we need to record this poster into our project. So what we can do is do hold and record. And there's that fancy animation and it comes in. And we'll stop right there. And so there it is. It's in our project. And we can just tap it down here and hit play. Ooh, look at that. Fancy. Fancy. These are really cool because they add a bit of production value, a little flair to your project. Now, you might be saying right now, well, that's great, Mike, but if this is an intro, this needs to be at the beginning of my video, but I've recorded it at the end. Am I stuck? No. This is another way or another editing feature, which I didn't show you in the beginning editing feature in clips. So say I want to move this title, this poster, to the beginning of my timeline. No problem. I just tap, hold till it's selected, and then I just drag it across to the beginning of my timeline. And you can do that with any clips in your timeline. Just tap, hold, and drag to the position where you want it. So let's just play this from the beginning. I'll just hit play. There's our intro.
There's that fancy animation.
A poster clip. And that'll play for around 5 seconds.
Going by in the bottom there.
And then it's to me
And you can also tell your recording
talking.
above the preview.
And then it'll come to the photo.
Code, a little timer going by with the flashing.
And yeah, so you can put together a nice little sequence here.
You can see
I'll just get out of here now. You can put together a nice little sequence with video clips and really tell a story with these features. So let's say we don't like this poster. We want to change it. So we select it. And also, when you select a poster, it's just like any other media clip. You can edit it. You can turn off audio if there's any audio. You can trim it as well. It comes with a trim window. So if you want it to be a little shorter, you can make it a little shorter. Apply the change, hitting apply. Or you can trash it altogether. And so that is posters. So we've got a selection here, and again, I'm sure this selection will grow as developers make more poster clips as well as overlays. But pretty quick and easy and stylish way to give your video some flair and some production value. So let's come to me here, again, live. So that's posters. So we've covered posters, we've covered overlays, we've covered filters. Let's talk now about the feature that everyone's talking about with clips, and that is live titles. And it's this icon on the top left of the interface. Okay, so here's what you're seeing. This is the live titles menu. And as you can see, we have a bunch of text, different styles of text coming onto the screen. So how this works is, this is basically a speech-to-text engine inside of clips that will take your spoken word and change it into on-screen text. Let me show you how this works. So if you want to add live titles to a clip, say we're doing this video and I want live titles to come on. Now you may be asking, well, why would I use this in the first place? Well, if you're going to be putting video on Facebook, Instagram, into that news feed where, some people turn off the audio and it's autoplay, having text or subtitles on your video grabs attention, gives people information about what the video is about, which entices them to click on it and watch more of it. So having these on-screen titles is an advantage on certain social platforms. So let me show you how this works. We're going to pick a style. I'm going to pick this red one here with the red background. Okay, so we have this, and this is a little preview of how this text is going to work. So let's record a video, and you'll see how this all comes together. So we're going to hit the record button and hold. And so now I'm talking and I'm speaking. As you can see, my speech is being transcribed into on-screen text on the video live. And you can see it coming on. So let's stop this right now and have more of a look at this live titles feature. Okay, so we recorded some live titles. Let's play back these live titles and see how it went. So we're going to go back to our last clip on the timeline. And let me just show you how to turn this off, turn off live titles. Pretty simple. We just go back into the live titles menu and we scroll down to the bottom where it says none, and we select none, and the live titles are gone. But let's have a look at what we recorded with the live titles. So I'm going to go down to the timeline here and select my last clip and hit the play button on the timeline.
And so now I'm talking and I'm speaking, as you can see.
And you can see the live titles coming on. They've been recorded
into on-screen text.
That's pretty remarkable. Live speech-to-text translation happening.
So let's stop this right now and have more of a look at
this
live titles feature.
Now let's say we saw the live titles and it's, amazing, but they're not 100% perfect. Depending on the sound quality, how well you articulate when you're speaking, will determine the accuracy of the live titles. So there are occasions when you're going to have to go and edit those live titles. How do you do that? Well, let's go back to our clip with the live titles. So what you want to do is start playing that clip. And when you see the text come on, pause it. Now, if we tap this text, it opens up into a text editor. So this is the text from our live title that was transcribed. So we can go in now and edit any mistakes. If you wanted to change something, you could just, like anything else, you could just edit the text. I'm just going to rewrite this word because it didn't get it wrong. Feature. And then once you've edited this text for your live title, just hit apply. And it's saved. It's very powerful. Okay, let's go back to me here. So that's live titles. And you can change the style. Say we thought that red background was a little too intense. You want to change it. Go back to the clip with the live title. Select it. Go back to the live title icon or menu by tapping the speech bubble up here. And now let's say we want to... I'm going to take... let me see. No, I'm going to go back. I don't want that one. Let's take this down here. We want that one. Okay. So now if we play our clip, with the live titles, it changes the style. So you can change the style of your live titles after the fact. So you got some great flexibility here.
On the video live. And you can see it coming on. So let's stop this right now.
All right, let's stop that. And let's come back to me by hitting that downward arrow. So that's live titles. Now, we've got one other icon at the top here, and that's the note icon to the right of the interface, the lonely little note icon, and that's music. So we can add music to our clips project. Let me show you how that works. We're going to tap that icon, note icon, and it brings us to this interface where we can select a music source. So we have none, which is selected right now, so there's no music. We have soundtracks, and we have My Music. So let's look at My Music. I think that's probably self-explanatory. That's going to take you to your iTunes music library where you can select a song to use in your clips project. Say we bring this in. Okay? So now we can preview this music, this track that we selected with our clips project by hitting this play button here. And so now we're previewing the music with the project.
Going by in the bottom there.
I don't think this music's going to work for this, but I'm just showing you how it works. So let's pause this for a second. Now, there's a very basic, I wouldn't call it editing, but you can do some adjustment with this music. If there's a particular section of this music you want to use for your project, you tap and hold this waveform that's represents your music, and you can move it back and forth to pick a particular section. So if I wanted to, pick up the music at the beginning section here, now I can preview again to see if this works.
There's that fancy
so now the music is picking up at a different point in the track. And that's That's the basic editing functionality you have with music from your library. So let's stop this. Okay, so that's music from your library, My Music. Let's go to soundtracks. This one is very interesting. So let's hit soundtracks. And I think actually I have to go to none first to just take the My Music track out or remove it from the buffer for the preview. So that is gone. So let's go to soundtrack. And we get these built-in soundtracks that come with clips. Now, as you can tell by the cloud download icons to the right, a lot of these are sitting in the cloud and you have to download them to get them onto your device. But these all come bundled with clips. I mean, look at this selection of different tracks, royalty-free tracks that you can use with your videos. So let's pick one. Let's pick something that's chill. Let's pick Downbeat. So it downloads it. So now that then we have to select it. And now that it's selected, we can get a little preview. We can listen ahead of time if we like it. So we're like, okay, well, this will do. We can select it again. It gets the check mark beside it. And then we hit the left arrow at the top of the interface. And it brings us to our preview, where you can preview the soundtrack with our clips timeline. So let's do that. Let's hit the play button. And it'll preview. And it comes in. Now you'll notice something really cool about this music feature. The music actually lowers its level automatically in order for the sound of the video clip to play through. So it's going to favor the voice on the video track so that you can hear the person speaking and it's not interfering with the music. Bringing the music level down when someone's talking is known as ducking. So the music automatically ducks itself depending on what it's playing up against. The other great thing about this soundtracks feature, and you don't get this with the My Music, if you select a track from My Music, is the soundtracks will automatically adjust their length to the length of your clips project. So it'll automatically fit itself into the length of your clips project. So that's adding music to your clips project. So since we're talking about music, we should probably talk about audio and how to manage audio here in clips. So let me first get out of this interface. I'm going to take off the music, and we're not going to have any music, and I'm going to hit done and come back to me here. So let's talk about audio here in clips. Well, as I mentioned earlier, way earlier in this tutorial, you can pretty much record a voiceover with anything or over anything here in clips. If we see the microphone icon down here, we see the level going up and down. The device is capturing sound, be it your voice or the ambient sound, and it's recording it. So you can record your voice with your video. Obviously, I'm speaking to you. You can hear me because I've recorded the voice. You can record voice over photos when you record them into your clips project. You can record voice over content coming from your library, photos or videos. You have to be mindful that if that microphone is on and active, that it's going to record the voice or ambient sound through your microphone, through the microphone on your device, over top of your clip. So be mindful of that. So turn it off if you don't want to hear or have voice or ambient sound recorded over top of your content. Now there is limited features as I showed you before. If we could look at one of these clips, I'm just going to grab this clip. Well, maybe that's a little distracting. Let's grab this clip here. In terms of audio, we can pretty much just mute the audio or keep it on. So if we mute the audio for this clip, when we export our final movie, the audio will be gone from this particular clip. So that's how you can sort of manage audio in a way. Basically, you're turning on or off tracks. Now, let me just show you something interesting when it comes to bringing in existing content that already has audio attached to it. So let's go to this video clip that I recorded from my library. Now, this clip already had audio built in when I recorded it. So if we hit the speaker icon here, we're going to get this menu that says mute the recorded audio or mute the original audio. So muting the recorded audio is basically muting me talking over, right? It's muting the audio that's captured by the microphone here into clips. Muting the original video audio is basically muting the audio of the original video. So if we select that and we play, then the original audio is gone from that. So we go back again, and we can change that again. We can unmute it if we want it to play, or mute the recorded audio. So if I want to mute my voiceover, say I decide I'm talking over this clip and I don't want that talking to appear in my final video, I can just mute my recorded audio, and that'll take out my voiceover. Hope that makes sense. But that is the extent of the audio management in clips. Basically, it's switching on tracks, switching off tracks. Okay, so let's say you've created this amazing video. You've added your live titles, your filters, your overlays, a poster or two, some music, and now it's time to share. Well, to share your video, we have to go down to the timeline here and hit Done. That brings us back to our library screen, and you can see the video that we just worked on is highlighted. It's got the yellow outline around it. So if we want to share this video, we go down to the bottom and you can see the familiar upload symbol down here. Let's tap that. It brings up some options for sharing. So you can share this video with people via messages. So people that you talk to frequently will come up that you can share the video with it. And Clips also can recognize people in your Clips project and based on that bring up people to message with the video. So a little bit of AI and facial recognition going on here as well. And then below that we have the usual selection of places where you can send your video: Facebook, Vimeo. You can import it into iMovie for further editing. You can save it to your device. You can send it, well, just about anywhere: YouTube, Instagram. Now keep in mind that this video that comes out of Clips is a square 1080 by 1080 format video. So that's going to work really well in the news feed for Facebook and for Instagram.
And that's Clips. Now, having used Clips for a bit, it feels very much like a combination of Snapchat, Instagram, and Apple's own iMovie. Now, Clips could be a very useful tool for creating compelling video for social media news feeds. Things like how-to videos, demo videos, travel videos, even short profile pieces. At the very least, it's an interesting tool to have in your video creation toolbox. Now, if you managed to make it through this rather involved tutorial, I thank you for your patience and for your time, and I hope that you found value in it. If you did, please share it, give it a like, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.